Dingle dell, take my pain away. Oh, what sins shall we commit on this bright and sunny day? Good morning, /afternoon /evening, everybody. I am SouthPawRacer. Welcome to another installment of How to Ruin a Racetrack, where today we will be focusing on one of the United Kingdom's most fantastic racetracks, one that is enjoyed by people the world over. It is Brands Hatch in Kent. This circuit, though it's one that I love on racing sims, has never really been one that I've seen much success at, or I've never had much luck driving around this place in a race, so this is going to be bittersweet for me. I'm going to somewhat enjoy this, as opposed to just putting on an act like most of the installments in this series, but at the same time, I know what I'm committing. I know the horrors being done here. After doing a brief survey of this composite satellite image I have created, I have a couple of ideas that I'd like to put to the test. I did kind of come in here with something of a plan, but I feel like oh no, I feel like the one that I've just come up with is going to be even more of a violation of sensibilities. Basically, the one thing that prevents most major series from racing at Brands Hatch nowadays is it's not just its safety standards. I mean, you know, it is a pretty safe circuit for the most part, but it's certainly not FIA Grade 1 by any stretch of the imagination. But also its length. Fact of the matter is, Brands Hatch is a pretty short circuit. Even by the standards from which F1 competed on it in the 1980s. I think the lap record from 86 is something like a 106 or a 109. I'm not quite sure. Probably closer to a 106, if I remember correctly. Those turbo cars were insane back then. So the question then becomes, how do you increase Brands Hatch's length? Well, I mean, the answer is obvious. Just don't. The track is fine the way it is. Don't mess with it. But this series doesn't exist for that reason. So the question then becomes, how do you extend the length of Brands Hatch, doing basically just a really shit job of it and completely destroying the way the track is? Basically what makes it so good. Like, what does make Brands Hatch good? It's got a flowing layout, it's got nice elevation changes, it's very quick, it's got some very interesting corners. Edit, transform, flip horizontal. That's what I want. So basically, you have to do stuff that's in complete opposition to the things that Brands Hatch is known for. So, chicanes. Of course, we love chicanes on this series, don't we? I mean, like, I understand. I've gotten a couple of comments saying, oh, you really like chicanes, don't you? And, you know, you're not wrong, certainly. It's very easy to do a bad chicane, and conversely, very hard to do a chicane well. But god damn, man, it's just so easy. Chicanes, oh man, it's like a bad addiction that you can't shake. I want to change, I swear, but the temptation is just too great. I mean, look, a bad chicane is very easy to spot. So hold up, let's think about this for a second. What constitutes a good chicane? I suppose if I think about it, a good chicane doesn't take away from the rest of the track, while at the same time, I guess, yes, I want to apply the transformation. I thought I'd already applied it. A good chicane works with the flow that the circuit currently has, or had before the introduction of the chicane, and also helps provide a passing opportunity while making the circuit safer. Seems fairly simple in my mind. So the obvious answer to this conundrum is a bad chicane, like the one that I am constructing now. It doesn't provide a passing opportunity, and it doesn't necessarily make the circuit any safer. Brave shall be the racer who attempts a pass through here. Or stupid be the racer, I suppose. Okay, let's see. Fast turn, not much runoff. Let's make some. Not by increasing the amount of runoff. Oh, no. By slowing the turn down. The obvious solution. Now I know what some of you might be thinking. Oh, he's just created a basic bridge from the Druid's hairpin to the back straight. Well, I'll assure you, I am actually going to be making the circuit longer. Just hang tight. Let's continue making this section worse. Okay, yeah, that seems like a good route to take. Kink. I need a kink. This seems like a good option. Okay, move it a little more. Oh, Jesus. There we go. Lower average speeds are the best, right? I like how on this lovely sunny Saturday, everybody's out using their power tools and fucking mowing their lawns and everything. Can y'all be quiet? I'm trying to do some pointless stuff on the internet. Alright, we're going to merge that down so that we now have a left hand, right angle turn. I almost said right hand, left angle turn. I love getting my left and rights confused. Briefly, only briefly, deactivate these layers and get myself a nice long straight. Alright, we have that now. So we can just slowly drag it over here because Photoshop doesn't like me using big mouse strokes. Okay, as the back straight on Brands Hatch gasps for life, we just reactivate everything else and leave it screaming muffled. Oh, wait, actually, okay, right. If I flip this over, then the tarmac color is a little bit closer. I see, yes. Alright, I can has, please. There we go, that's better. There we go, just some really light erasure, just to make a really bad effect of there being a continuation of the trees, anyway. Okay. So, that is sorted, and before any of you go, oh wow, this section looks like a lot of fun. Look at these turns following the terrain. Just imagine that this is flat, okay? In my head canon, this is flat. Yes, there is a How to Ruin a Racetrack universe. The How to Ruin a Racetrack cinematic universe. Okay, now, those of you who are aware of motorsport history, at least in the case of Brands Hatch, will know that this turn here, I think it's Barry Sheen Curve. Let me double check that. Yes, this is Sheen Curve. Used to be called Dingle Dell, and it didn't used to be just a kink. Started out with the GP circuit extension in the 60s as a very sweeping turn that basically went where the gravel trap is in a nice sweeper. And then sometime, I think it was in the late 90s or the early 2000s, it was replaced with the Dingle Dell Chicane, which was kind of shit. And then they just turned it into like something between a kink and a sweeper again, albeit with runoff this time. And it's a pretty fun turn, but I think here at How to Ruin a Racetrack Industries, we like to also give a nod to the past, and I think we're going to do that here by bringing back one of the classics, bringing back the Dingle Dell Chicane, but in augmented form. Yes, alright, now we do this. Make a copy of that, and then tighten it up. Okay, we will duplicate that, and just casually move the entire background. We're going to Control-Z that shit. Vertical, bring you up here, and then we'll just take that little part, duplicate it, rotate it, so that we have some kind of homogeneousness. Grabbeth the eraser. Exhibit 550,000,002. A chicane that does not provide a passing opportunity and is probably not safer. Also completely destroying whatever flow the ruined racetrack might have had before this point. In that case, I guess it fits the bill perfectly. Okay, for this next section, I'm sorry, we're going to have to resurrect the straight once again. I know it's cruel to extend the suffering, but, you know, we're doing this for science, right? Haha, you see what I'm trying to do here? Oh my god. Oh my god, it almost lines up perfectly. Holy crap. Just did that and... Oh. Oh, Jesus wept. That is fantastic. Okay, now, edit, transform, and warp. Let's see if we can't give this a little bit more width at this end. There we are. That's... Ooh, it's pretty close, but we could do with a little more stretching on this side, and yeah. Yeah, that's good. All good. Alrighty. Now, let's move on to the original parts of the track. Alright, so selected this entire corner, just going to copy and paste a duplicate of it. And I'm going to try out something a little different to what I usually do. I'm going to just warp this thing out. Ugh, I don't know if this is working. Oh god. Oh, in my attempt to become the warper of corners, I have instead become the really bad warper of corners. Oh, that's kind of what I'm wanting right there. Okay. Issue, of course, being that well, maybe I could just extend the straight to fix that in a second. Whatever. And we'll just adjust these anchors so that the white lines still blend a little. Yeah, alright. Apply. Whatever. In that case, what I can do here is this. And as I'm doing that, I want to muse on something for a second. I have to wonder, do some people even read the titles of these videos before they decide to comment on them? Like, I got a comment on the Spa video a few weeks back saying something along the lines of, Utter Bollocks destroyed one of the best tracks, or something like that. And I'm like, yeah? No shit. What were you expecting when you clicked on a video saying how to ruin a racetrack, Spa-Francorchamps? And it's not even like I'm trying to be a cackling little troll or anything like that. Like, literally, this is just me sort of having a bit of fun. And as I discussed in the Road Atlanta video, it's more about sort of like just showing how bad things could possibly be, rather than, you know, out of any disrespect for a good racetrack or anything like that. I don't know. You can't fix the opinions of people like that, I suppose. And at the end of the day, opinions are opinions, and there really isn't anything you can do about that. Something that I wish I'd learnt a very long time ago. Would have cost me much less stress in the past, I think. One of my least favourite things that are sometimes done to turns on racetracks is when the corner is just slightly reprofiled with an extra kink somewhere, and, you know, for the most part it follows the route of the original corner, but at the same time it's like, all you've done is just made it more awkward to negotiate, so that's what we're going to do with this one. Opacity down so we can see what we're doing, and this is pretty simple, I guess, just a little bit of a kink. I really didn't need all this extra stuff. Ugh. 40 seconds of completely unnecessary manual erasing later, we are left with this. Subtle, but excruciating. And, well, when you think about it, we've completely bypassed anything done to druids, so there needs to be room for such a hairpin somewhere on the circuit, right? Well, I mean, have a look at this. We can't just have the circuit use the indie final couple of turns and then just go straight back onto the start-finish straight, because that would be too interesting. So what we got to do is continue a little bit up the straight here, and then have a hairpin, I don't know, here, somewhere, and then, I don't know, maybe a kink or something to bring it back onto the former circuit. just to frustrate competitors a little bit more. So let's select layer 1 and begin the selection right now. Okie dokes, and we'll put you right there. Ding, done. Alright, now we take the second half of Druids and create a slightly more open turn out of it. There we are. Make sure that it lines up somewhat. And, well, I only really have one thing in mind to finish off the lap here. Because turns are in short supply around here, let's just sneak under these different layers and have a go at this. I know, I've changed my process from earlier where I would delete the layers on top. Well, just shut up. I have no explanation. Leave me alone. I'm a growing boy. Alright, there we go. So we'll put that in place. We're going to leave this gravel trap here, and it's going to go over a bit of the housing estate. Why, you ask? Because, well, even though I ruin racetracks on YouTube, I still have a burning hatred for housing estates that encroach upon racetracks. Yes, I know, due to population growth and yada yada yada, sometimes they are necessary, but it still doesn't make it hurt any less. I'm from Australia. We lost Oran Park to that. Alrighty, that has been warped semi-successfully, and now, at long last, we can move on to the final 2 turns, and, well, no, actually, not that. Well, I just spoiled myself there. I spoiled my own idea to you guys. My idea for the final 2 turns is thus. We're gonna make a multi-apex shitfest. Because, you know, who needs simple turns that just follow the terrain? So it inexplicably narrows a little bit before fanning out onto the final pieces of track. Alright, let's start cleaning up some of the rough edges. Only some, mind you. I guess it wouldn't be how to ruin a racetrack if there weren't some element of amateurish stupidity to the edit. Grab ourselves a wall from somewhere else on the track and just bring it on over. But lack of consistency. I guess that's become another how to ruin a racetrack attribute. Fuck it. This is going to be the last thing I clean up before I finish up, because I'm a busy man. I got shit to do. Like, my university readings. Now how's that for a pit entry? That is the true essence of really bad racetrack design. Just like a fast kink that's gonna have the cars tracking out here, so you'd really need to slow down through this turn if you wanted to make it into that chicane for the pit entry. So, crashes abound. Now, some of the eagle-eyed among you might have noticed that I've left Paddock Hill Bend alone until now. And yes, I'm not leaving it alone to instill some sense of what was, because, you know, it's the best turn on the circuit. How could it possibly go untouched at this stage? I have an idea. Enter Circuit Mont-Tremblant in Canada. Now, this circuit's a pretty cool one. I quite enjoyed watching it in some real-life footage that you can find on YouTube, and I also enjoy racing a sim version of it from time to time. But it's got one thing right here. This chicane in the middle of turn 1. And of course, yes, I can completely understand why this chicane exists, because, I mean, let's face it, this is a super fast turn going over the crest of a hill with barely any runoff at all, and there's a river behind it. I mean, yeah, you can understand why the chicane was put in there, but watching cars negotiate this, it just looks so awkward and scrappy that I feel, especially considering that the first turns of Mont-Tremblant and Brands Hatch are very similar, I guess, in terms of their, you know, their profile, their fast right-handers going over and down a hill. We have to put this in. This has to be a cameo appearance. So, amongst the drab British satellite imagery of Brands Hatch, we'll place the incredibly sunny Canadian Mont-Tremblant first chicane. Want a pointer on how annoyingly awkward this chicane is to drive? just look up some footage from Champ Car 2007 at Mont-Tremblant, because when the Champ Car World Series visited the track, they had to use the chicane, obviously, because they were super powerful, fast open-wheelers. And sure, whatever, you know, from a driver's perspective, you get what you're given, you drive the turns that you have to drive, obviously. I mean, real racing drivers don't get much of a choice in the tracks that they drive. At least if they're professionals, anyway. I mean, if you're an amateur racing driver, you can just say, no, I don't want to race there, and people just be like, okay, we'll just race without you then. But if you're a professional, it's like, oh, no, that is a breach of your contract. You have been demoted. But yeah, do yourself the opposite of a favor and look up Champ Car 2007 at Mont-Tremblant. It is quite the experience seeing these guys just, I don't know, hop over these curbs at very high speed. Like, usually in racing, from a spectator's perspective, that's considered a good thing, but it kind of isn't there. And I guess just to add insult to injury, finally, we'll leave the old route of Paddock Hill Bend there, but just never use it. Ha 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 ha, I guess. That's it. We're done. And in retrospect, it looks like all I've done is just flip the track around and add a few more turns. How to ruin a racetrack! You know what? The great irony of this is, just by looking at the finished product, I can tell that I never ended up actually making the track any longer at the end of the day. I don't know, take it how you will, but it's done, it's there, and I'm realizing that I've... Actually, hold on a minute. Turn it 90 degrees to the left. The track now looks like a screaming snake with a swollen head and a bit of an Adam's apple. I'll leave you with that thought. Did you like this video? Be sure to like it, thumbs up, comment, do the YouTube crap, and if you want me to ruin any racetrack in particular, leave me a comment, and I'll consider it. I'm SouthPawRacer, I'm a sim racer, I make videos about that and other stuff, and I will see you at the first corner. Goodbye.